Agatha is coming for your movie posters? Shocked comic fans everywhere learn shock shocking comic fans everywhere. Exceptional starts with an E. It's time to buy some tiny masks. Jonah Heckstar may become Space Cop. All this and more on Cutting Edge Hero Live. Welcome to Cutting Edge Hero! I am the Nerd King, Danny Stewart, your host for this show. Every week, I'm just so glad to be here with you and for you folks. I am also joined by the ever incredible, the personally enriching, and the joyfully bountiful Landon Felter. Landon, how's it going over there?
It's going fantastic, personally enriching, but also personally poor.
Ah, yes. So spiritually enriching, financially the wallet is struggling. That's basically the moniker for every middle to lower class American in the country, and has been for a couple decades now. So welcome to the show. This week we are talking about our five favorite sacrifice characters or stories, narratives, however you want to sell it, on the hit list. We will also be talking about Rings of Power Season 2, the Minecraft trailer, which just dropped today. And what's the other thing I said? Somewhere in here. The Netflix series Chaos. We will be talking about that as well. But first, Landon, I want to put you on the spot. What's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Nerdiest thing I've done this week is focus on my education. I've been completely swamped with schoolwork.
Nerd. The nerdiest thing that I have done this week is I don't know if you guys were aware of this. I don't know that we covered it in video games. Where's the center of the screen? There we go. I found it. Everybody can stop looking. They dropped the price of Hogwarts Legacy down to like $21 on the PlayStation Network, and so I finally got around to scooping that sucker up. And so I have been playing a lot of Hogwarts Legacy. Weirdly, this game, I don't know. Have you played it at all?
I haven't, no.
I know that like a lot of people were up in arms when it came out because obviously J.K. Rowling is a turf, but almost none of the money for this game went to her. So I mean, it was the largest, the highest selling video game of all time and the highest selling video game of 2023, but she just got like a pittance of it. So it's fine. It's whatever, it's separating the art from the artist, that kind of thing. But it is a fun game. It's basically Batman Arkham Asylum, but set in the Harry Potter world, because the camera angle, like the over his shoulder camera angle, the like fighting, everything is like almost identical to Arkham Asylum, which explains why the game did so well.
Yeah, it felt weird. I thought it was more of like an RPG sort of thing.
Not necessarily an RPG. It's like a loosely RPG-ish. You kind of level up as you go, and you get new armor. You get new like robes and gloves and scarves and glasses and hats that like boost your character's strength. But like the gameplay, very, very similar to the Arkham Asylum games.
So you just beat the shit out of the bad guys around you, and it's like, no, they're not dead. They're just unconscious.
Well, it's not that physical because obviously it's a Hogwarts or Harry Potter based game, and it's aimed at kids. So you just blast them with your wand, and like the combat is like you hit them with like Accio and it floats them in the air towards you, and then you blast them with your wand like 4 times. Then you hit them with Leviosa and it like floats them in the air some more, and then you combo on them again. But like you just chain them in the air and just beat the shit out of them with your wand. Basically how it goes.
Neat.
And it's got like the Soulsborne like rolling dodge as part of it. So like you get a little warning that you're about to get hit, and you just roll out of the way. Jessica Christian in the chat. Jess, glad you are here. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, you can just like dodge out of the way of the attacks. So it's very Soulsborne style fighting, and then you just like come up and just start blasting them with your wand again.
Hmm.
So it's very much Harry Potter with guns. Have you ever seen that that YouTube video where they replace all the wands with guns?
I'm almost certain I have, because that is one of those videos that just goes around the internet, but I can't remember it for the life of
It's
me.
kind of like that. You just like straight up just start blasting people. That's like the whole gameplay. That's how it goes. But it's got a great exploration, some really fun puzzle solving, but all around fun game. I really see why it did as well as it did.
Hmm.
Faux show. But yeah, speaking of something else entirely, you want to talk about some news?
Always.
How about you fire those bullet points at me? Still working on that transition. Haven't figured out the thing I want to say. We'll get there. We'll get there slowly but surely. Over in TTRPG news, it's a slow news week for TTRPGs, so I will be reporting on the Cosmere TTRPG again for the like 6th week in a row. But it has finished its Kickstarter. The project was initially backed for $100,000 and then up to $200,000, and they had some stretch goals. The final totals for this game. Yes, Billy, Columbine that news. Billy Rhodes in the chat. Kempachi Zaraki, thank you for jumping in. Glad you guys are here. But anyway, the Cosmere TTRPG finished their funding at $15,057,071 with 54,736 backers, and that is a 6,022% backing for what is one of easily becoming my favorite book series. Also in that news, this week I managed to pick up a first edition hardcover of The Way of Kings, the first book in the Stormlight Archive, at our local bookstore, the Book Rack. So pretty excited about that. I'm hoping to meet Brando Sando pretty soon and get his autograph on that beautiful piece of artwork. Over in anime news, Dragon Ball Daima is set to premiere October 11th, 2024 in Japan. Now, it is set to premiere in Japan on this day, and it's going to be a big deal. Yes, Emerald Stewart, my daughter in the chat, it is a first edition hardcover, and it is in mint condition. I was very excited when I found it. It is premiering in Japan October 11th, but there has been no announcement as to when it will premiere in the United States or what streaming service will get it. They unveiled a new poster, which Landon just was nice enough to show to you guys, for it, featuring the characters that will be in it. You can see that we've got some of the we've got obviously Goku, and then I'm drawing a blank on their names, but the gods from the different Dragon Ball universes as well, and they're actually with the they dropped a new trailer this week for Daima as well, and it actually features our first look at mini Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2 Goku, as well as they dropped the information that a good part of this series is going to take place in the Demon Realm. The Demon Realm, which hasn't really been featured in much other than the Dragon Ball Heroes, which is not canon, was mentioned briefly in the Dragon Ball Z Buu saga. That is where Daburo was from. So we will be learning more about the Demon Realm as well with Dragon Ball Daima. My Hero Academia Heroes Rising is going to hit Netflix on September 26th. So if you hadn't had a chance to see that movie, if you haven't caught it on anything else, if you don't have a Crunchyroll account, it will be available on Netflix starting September 26th. Over in comics, the Exceptional X-Men trailer dropped today. Of those of you who aren't huge comic fans, Marvel does trailers for their upcoming comic series. It's like a what's the word I'm looking for?
Teaser?
Yes. Well, it's like a flash-based animation where they just use like stills from the comics and they kind of animate them moving towards each other. But yeah, they drop a teaser for their comics that way. They've been doing it for a couple of years now. But this team, following the From the Ashes storyline, where after The mutant nation of Krakoa was destroyed, and the mutants were mostly put off world on Mars. The few remaining on Earth, which is our new X-Men teams, we have gotten a couple of teams. There's one led by Rogue. Then there's going to be another one led by Storm, and then there's this new team which will be led by Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost. It is going to feature Bronze, Axo, and Melee. They are 3 kids from the Midwest who have discovered that they have mutant abilities and will be going on mutant adventures. As I said in the intro, weirdly, usually whenever you get a Marvel X-Men team added, like Extreme X-Men or some of the other variations that we've gotten, they usually use the X as the lead letter. In this instance, though, the Exceptional X-Men is actually EXCEPTIONAL. So
Completely unreadable.
yeah, they're subverting expectations just in this new Marvel era. They didn't go for the exceptional, which good for them. Really good for them. Venom War #2 dropped today, and it is giving us a really good look at the King in Black Carnage. So back in the King in Black storyline, Carnage actually took control fully of Cletus Cassidy, and with the new comic dropping, they have given us this image.
I'm terribly sorry about everyone. I was mid-drink.
Landon missing all the clues. But yeah, so this is the new Carnage suit. This is the symbiote in full control over Cletus Cassidy, and his powers are merged with that of Null, the king of the symbiotes. So he is popping up in Venom War issue #2. TMNT X Naruto has dropped an alternate cover for the series that is premiering October 24th. If nothing else, even if this series is complete bullshit, the art they are dropping for it is incredible. I am very excited about this. I want that poster on my wall. So if you're a fan of Ninja Turtles or Naruto or both, this is a good time to be. Ben said, "Dang, I'm so early. Hi, all the peoples. Our human relations specialist and fact checker extraordinaire, Ben, is in the comments. Kelvin Kately, thank you so much for joining us. Holy, I got to read that. Just learning about Null. Yeah, dude. All the stuff with Null and the Necro Sword. That is all really great stuff. If you get a chance, get into the comics, check it out. Unfortunately, we didn't get a good Necro Sword in Thor. God, what was the name of that? Thor, the fourth one.
Oh, Love and Thunder?
Thor Love and Thunder. Thank you. My brain was giving up on me. But anyway, so we didn't get a good version of the Necro Sword in Thor Love and Thunder, but the comics, it is just insanely powerful. And Null, the king of the symbiotes, is just such a cool character. Like, he was such a great addition to the Marvel mythos, and I really enjoy him. Let's see. McFarlane Toys has dropped the pre-orders. This actually happened yesterday for the 1/3 scale replicas of the Michael Keaton Batman helmet, the Adam West Batman mask, and the Nightfall helmet from the comics. So this launched yesterday. You can get them for $14.99 on Entertainment Earth or on Amazon. They are out now. That also comes along with the full 1-to-1 scale replica of the Michael Keaton Batman helmet that they released previously. And that one is $100 if you want to put it on your shelves. But in the meantime, those helmets are 7 inches tall. They're great replicas. Obviously, Todd McFarlane does a great job with all of this stuff. So McFarlane Toys really knows what they're doing. Over in TV, so those of you, I know we've got some, yes, $14.99, Billy, for each one of those, not $14.99 for all 3. That would be an insane deal. So you're looking at probably about $45. Spaceboy in the chat. Spaceboy, what's up? I'm glad you're here. Do your homework. I don't want to have to yell at you, but yes, please keep commenting. So announced yesterday, I think, they are adding a Twilight animated series to Netflix. So for those of you who cannot get enough about sparkly vampires living in Forks, Washington, they are doing an animated series based on the Midnight Sun book that is from the perspective of Edward Cullen, as opposed to being from the perspective of Bella. And the series will be coming to Netflix sometime in the next couple of years. It is being written and produced by Sinead Daly. I didn't even know that they wrote a Twilight book from Edward's perspective. Were you aware of this?
I have heard of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
haven't heard much beyond that.
Emerald Stewart said, "Do Edward and Jacob end up together in that one?" I don't know. I don't think they can, because Jacob has to totally creep on their daughter and then end up with her instead. It'd be weird if that didn't happen, right? Not as weird as it actually happening, which was pretty fucking weird. But anyway, Agatha all along is doing some horror tribute posters, so paying tribute to uh, uh, mystery and horror series that already exist. They dropped these on the internet the other day, so there we have the True Detective tribute. Um, that is that one's pretty obvious, but it's Rocky Horror Picture Show. Then we have this one is a tribute to Monster House and Evil Dead. They did a twofer on that one, which I think is really cool. Nobody's real sure about this one. They think it might be a tribute to the Babadook. I see Psycho in there a little bit when looking at the angles of the trailer. And then we've got this last one, which people are saying may be a tribute to the Nicolas Cage film Mandy. I'm excited for Agatha all along. I think that Catherine Hahn does a good job, and I think the character is interesting enough. I'm enjoying that they're having a lot of fun with the nature of the character being able to jump through different worlds and all the different homages they're going to make to it during the show. Billy Rhodes says, "I believe Stephanie Meyer was going to do the whole series from Edward's perspective, but it kept getting leaked, so she gave up." So from what I understand, I did read a little bit about this. It got leaked. She got upset. She shelved the project. She then came back later and finished it. So I don't know if the entire series was ever on the books for that, or if it's just the first book, or if that book takes place. I don't know enough about it. I've never read Twilight. I've barely watched the movies. I think I saw the first one and maybe part of the last one. But uh, Kelvin said, "Was there a movie called The Puppet Masters? Am I tripping?" No, there absolutely is a movie called The Puppet Masters. There's a couple of them actually. There's Puppet Master and then The Puppet Masters, which are different series that are about different things. One's about tiny little murder puppets from Nazi Germany, and another one is about aliens controlling human beings. Both great. I love Puppet Master. It's one of my favorite, early 90s, like late 80s horror film series. Big fan. And then the Puppet Masters didn't really get that much into it. I don't I'm not crazy about Invasion of the Body Snatchers type movies. I think maybe The Faculty was the best one out of all of them. But that's just because it's got Elijah Wood in it. But rather have him as Frodo. But anyway, I can talk about that all day long. But Mary Lavanos, the producer of Agatha All Along, also says that Vision Quest will pick up right after WandaVision. So the Agatha All Along series and the Vision Quest series are going to run basically in the same time period in different places. In DC TV news, and I'm pretty sure everybody saw this week, but Josh Brolin has been approached by DC Studios to portray Hal Jordan in the Lanterns TV series. It's an interesting choice. Obviously, an older Hal Jordan. This will be an older Hal Jordan. We haven't seen a lot of stories with an older Hal Jordan that I'm aware of, but I don't hate it. I think it's a decent choice for the number one space cop. The story will be a True Detective style series that takes place in space and will feature a younger John Stewart joining the Green Lantern Corps and being mentored by what will possibly be Josh Brolin's Hal Jordan. That being said, Jeff Snyder over on the InSnyder newsletter said that they have already selected a couple possible backups to take his place if Josh Brolin were to pass on the role. And the two names at the top of that list currently are Matthew McConaughey, which great choice since he was in the first season of True Detective, and Ewan McGregor as well, may be the one taking up the mantle of the Green Lantern. Landon, what do you think about that?
Matthew McConaughey, amazing for True Detective vibes. I don't know how I feel about him being Hal Jordan, though. That
Yeah.
feels a bit iffy to me.
The only problem I have with this is that the Hal Jordan character, even the modern Hal Jordan character, is like always cut out of this like 1950s era, like
He's a straight and narrow guy.
yeah, straight and narrow kind of guy. Um, Billy Rhodes says, I think Matthew would actually be a lot of fun. I personally don't see Matthew McConaughey signing up to be Green Lantern, but it is funny that we have Ryan Reynolds, who had previously played Green Lantern and has been roasted by all of his friends over and over, including Josh Brolin. And then we've got the possibility that either Josh Brolin could be playing Hal Jordan, which I think is just a killer idea. Just so the jokes tell themselves. Like Deadpool 4 is going to be full of Josh Brolin Green Lantern jokes. But also then McConaughey, who just played the cowboy Deadpool in Deadpool and Wolverine, picking up as Hal Jordan's Green Lantern too. I think the connections there are crazy, and I think it's a very funny idea, and it'll be interesting to see if they actually move forward with that or not. But I don't see like a laid back like Southern Texas Hal Jordan making sense. You know, he's supposed to be like uptight, straight lace, like uh yeah, in my Kelvin Gately said, "In my brightest day, in my darkest night." All right, all right, all right. Uh, so I love all three ideas. I think Ewan McGregor might be my favorite of the three choices, though.
I mean, I'm sure you and McGregor would do a great job. I mean,
Yeah, the only problem with that, and it's not a real problem, but in the DCEU, Ewan McGregor already played Black Mask in the what was the name of that? The Emancipation of Harley Quinn and the
oh, Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey. Thank you. The Birds of Prey movie. But man, they've already scrapped all of that universe. Like, there's really no reason he couldn't do it.
Listen, if Robert Downey Jr. can do 2 roles in Marvel, he can do 2 roles too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's even better because Robert Downey Jr. is playing in the exact same cinematic universe, and Ewan McGregor is going to be in an entirely different DC universe. So for my money, I think that's the best choice, though. Like, I think he would be a great Hal Jordan.
I'm sure he'd do great. I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not entirely familiar with everything he's done, so I can't say for sure. I'm not too familiar with his acting style, but I'll believe you.
The crazy thing with this is you have to go big picture too, because we know that in the Superman movie, uh, Billy Rhodes says he thinks Ewan McGregor be wasting his talent as Hal Jordan. Hal needs a really great actor. Hal Jordan is an incredible character. I think that having a good person play him correctly, and we get several movies with him as Hal Jordan, is awesome. I think that Hal Jordan post Ryan Reynolds playing him has been really bastardized in the DC canon. Like, they're always looking to replace him with somebody else. You know, if you watch the Crisis on Infinite Earths movie, Hal Jordan's like the villain of part of that, and it's like I would love to see Hal done right. I think he deserves it. But that being said, looking at the broader universe, we already know that we're getting Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner in the Superman movie. So this is a world where we're going to have whoever they cast as Jon Stewart, Nathan Fillion, and possibly Josh Brolin, Matthew McConaughey, or Ewan McGregor playing a straight-laced Hal Jordan against these other two actors. And I just think it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about this Lantern series. It's just DC really, really needs to get away from their big three. And they haven't even put enough effort into anything Wonder Woman related yet that I've been satisfied with it. But, you know, it's mostly just Batman. And then every once in a while they throw out a Superman movie. And other than that, it's been really sad.
I mean, that's kind of what they've been up to for the past. How many decades has it been since the 60s?
60.
60 years.
It's been 60 years. It's been 6 decades. It hasn't been 60 decades. That's a long time. Anyway, I'm just saying, very excited, very exciting news. I'm just excited they're doing something besides Batman and Superman, and they're actually putting some effort into it. So we'll see how it ends up on the big screen. But yeah, I want to see a good on-screen Hal Jordan, and I just want to see a good Green Lantern storyline. They're so fun. Like, all of the different Green Lanterns and all of their different stories are so fun, and nobody has been able to capture it on screen yet.
I mean, it's a bit of a tall order. Like, we've seen Ryan Reynolds, it would be a lot of CGI with the ring and everything, and granted, CGI has come
Yeah.
further since those Green Lantern movies, still, it's gonna
I just think there's a lot there to work with, and I think there's a long history of really great Green Lantern stories that we could just have like an established Green Lantern universe with just the Green Lantern characters and never run out of stories to tell. And I just want them to do a good job. That's all I'm saying. Brad Winderbaum, who is the head of Marvel TV, says that Daredevil Born Again will feature the most brutal action they've ever brought to the screen. I'm excited for it as long as it's not violence for the sake of violence. It needs to be well written. It needs to have good action, and it needs to be an emotional and heartfelt story about Daredevil's return. As long as they can tick all those boxes, I think it's going to be good. But if it's just like shitty story and good action, and doesn't strike any chords emotionally, basically it's The Crow 2024, and nobody wants to see that again. Jessica Christian says she cannot wait for the Green Lantern series, and Billy Rhodes says I'm mostly more interested who's going to be cast as Larfleeze. There's no, yeah, Larfleeze is probably just be a voice acting, and knowing that it's the James Gunn universe and them needing a voice actor, it's either going to be Vin Diesel or who voices Rocket, the actor. Come on, you got this. I believe in you.
he was in the Hangover
He
movies.
totally was, and I'm drawing a blank on his name right this second. We'll come back around on that. Also, they said that the Nova series is in development right now. What level of development? I don't know. That could be that they're writing a treatment. That could be that they are moving forward with a script. That could be that they're casting. I don't know. But Nova is currently in development. Bradley Cooper, thank you, Ben, our fact checker, making his money. Yes, Bradley Cooper or Vin Diesel are the only two options for voice actors for James Gunn. So we'll see how that goes down. The other one is Nathan Fillion, and he's already being used. So not that he can't do both. Not that he can't do both. Moving on to movies, Joker Folie à Deux premiered at the 81st annual Venice Film Festival, and the reviews for the movie are mixed. They're saying that the overall movie isn't necessarily great, but that Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga are just showstoppers. Like every scene they're in is incredible. They do a great job. It's just that the movie is really, really dark, and you don't get a lot of emotionally uplifting moments. So it's kind of hard to watch, except for when they're on screen doing what they do and being who they are, which I have to say seems like it'd be the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
But also, if the parts where they're not on screen is such a grind, then maybe, maybe that's not as good as you think it is. Jesse Stewart in the chat, my little brother's here. What's up, Jesse? He also said Bradley Cooper. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. As a matter of fact, if everybody could just comment Bradley Cooper in the chat, I would appreciate it. Maybe we can get Bradley Cooper to show up. I hear if you say his name 3 times in front of a mirror, he will talk like a angry raccoon. Spaceboy said, can we talk about how terrible the Minecraft movie looks? Because holy shit, we are going to talk about the Minecraft movie trailer. We will get there. Star Trek Day. This one is in here specifically for Billy Rhodes. Star Trek Day is September 8th, 2024. So it's like
4 days away.
Yeah, 4 days away. Thank you, Landon. That was good math. That was quick math. But anyway, it is 4 days away. They are doing a digital only Star Trek Day event. Weirdly, I couldn't find the website that you need to go to enjoy this, but just search it. But what they're doing for the day is they're going to put you in the seat of the USS Enterprise and ask what you would do to change the world if you had that kind of power. Kempachi says he thinks it looks funny and the pig people crack him up. Yep, we're going to get to that Minecraft trailer. We really will. But anyway, so Star Trek Day is coming. So you can go be the captain of the USS Enterprise in online. And also they are doing pop-up events like at the Taste of Chicago, where they are actually going to have the captain seat available and give you an opportunity to sit in it and pretend to be the captain of the USS Enterprise. So that's pretty exciting. And also in celebration of the 45th anniversary of the release of Star Wars, the motion picture, they are releasing a 45th anniversary Blu-ray Steelbook edition. And that is available for pre-order now. And it releases on November It releases in November 2024, so it's a little over 2 months away before you can get your hands on this, but you can go pre-order it now. And Star Wars: The Motion Picture is great. It was a return to a series that ended like a decade before. And Billy said, "Oh shit, I've been thinking about that question for a while now." Yeah, I know you asked the big question. Spaceboy says, "Landon, let's go to Chicago, please." Hell yeah, I'll come to Chicago too. We can all go. Ben can join us. And then Ben said, "Are we going to talk about the Minecraft trailer?" We will be talking about the Minecraft trailer in just a minute. First, we're going to get through the rest of these bullet points, and we've only got a couple left. Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, the latest shameless cash grab coming from New Line Cinema, is possibly going to ask Sir Ian McKellen to reprise his role of Gandalf. Now, in response to this, he said they better get it done quickly or he's not going to be around to do it. The man is 85 years old, and like last week was doing a stage production in London and fell off the stage and hurt himself. So, you know,
he hurt himself, but he's still around.
yeah, he's still around. He's still alive. He can definitely still body double for a giant human being next to the hobbits, and say fun wizard things. Billy Rhodes said, "So we got an ETA on that Minecraft trailer yet?" Billy, I will tell you, we're going to be talking about that Minecraft trailer in a minute, and we will get to it. It's on the way to the firework factory. Ken Bashi says The Wrath of Khan is the best old Star Trek movie, though. Absolutely, Wrath of Khan is way up on the list. For me, like I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan, but I have watched all of the Star Trek movies and they kind of blend into one big film for me. So I have a hard time like separating what's happening where. I just know like the quest for peace is the worst out of all of them. And then in our final bit of news today, Anya Taylor-Joy says that she wants to play the live action Elsa for Frozen. And I can see it. I don't think she's a terrible choice. She said she wants to do a musical. She's a hard worker and she wants the opportunity to do something cool. She said if they're doing a live action Frozen, she would love to be cast to play Elsa. I will say we already have the perfect person to play Elsa in live action because there's an actual person that Elsa is based off of, and that is adult film star Elsa Jean. So I'm just saying, I don't know if she can sing or not, but if you're looking for someone to play Elsa in live action, why not use the person she's based off of? But that's just for my money. Landon, you got any thoughts on that?
No, I don't. I'm just going to state that right now. Have no idea. I know nothing about this Elsa Jean's work. Can't really, say anything for certain.
I know for a fact you have several Elsa Jean things bookmarked on your computer.
You think I keep that shit in the bookmarks? What do you take me for?
An anarchist like me.
That's awfully organized for an anarchist, Danny.
Anarchy does not mean lack of organization. It means lack of government. Come on. If you don't understand what the term anarchy means, I'll describe it to you. It literally means no government. That's the words for it. But anyway, Billy Rhodes says, I think I downloaded the wrong Frozen movie. And he also said Quest for Peace with a question mark. And I'm realizing now after I said it out loud, that is actually the Superman 4 movie and not Star Trek. I apologize. Spaceboy says, I like women and I don't know who this is. Huh. Well, a simple Google search on a public Wi-Fi network, probably in the middle of a very busy space full of people, is the best way to find out who Elsa Jean is. Absolutely. But anyway, Landon, what do you got in gaming news?
All right. So one big piece of gaming news so far that I thought was worth talking about. Have you heard the game Concord?
I have. Yeah, I wasn't even aware it was a thing until I heard the recent news about it.
Yeah, the recent news that it is being shut down as on September 6th. The hero shooter Concord will be shutting down. Do you all know when it was released?
It was pretty recent, right?
August 23rd.
Yeah.
It lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm here. I saw an article, and stop me if you were covering this, but like physical copies of the game, since they're like shutting it down and you won't be able to play it on digital anymore. Physical copies of the game are selling on eBay for $100 and more a piece.
That sounds insane. It feels like they should be going for nothing because you won't be able to play it online anymore.
That's true.
Which that's the point of it.
Which I don't know if this is the case with Xbox, but I have to assume it's the same. Whenever I buy a hard copy of a video game and I put the disc into my PlayStation to play it, it downloads the digital copy into my PlayStation, and that's what I play, and you just use the disc for access. Like, so again, if it's not being supported on the internet, it's probably not going to do you much good.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say I did see rumors that they're possibly going to take it down, do some work on it, and then re-release it as a free-to-play.
Possibly, but I don't know. This is a lot of bad PR for the game. I don't know if they even did that, if it would even be recoverable.
I think the craziest thing about this Concord failure is that this is a AAA release by Sony. Like, this is not a small independent game. They put a lot of money into this game, and it failed so hard in the first 2 weeks that they're taking it back down.
Man, it's really sad to think that Sony video games are taking notes from the Sony movie studios.
Ben said, "Is this where we talk about about Minecraft, the movie trailer?" I want to assure you, Ben, we will be talking about the Minecraft trailer in just a few minutes. We're going to finish up these bullet points first, though.
Last little bit about that news. This game has an episode in Secret Level, the new Amazon show. There's going to be an episode about it.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine if the episode is like the best part of Secret Level and it causes a rise in interest in playing the game?
God, it would be awful if not only it was the best part of Concord, but it was like the best part of the entire first season.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh,
if that's like the very best part of Secret Level, a series based on playing around in video game worlds, and you can't go play the game after it comes out, like, that would be so bad.
Oh.
Spaceboy said, "Wait, there was a Minecraft movie trailer." Yes, Spaceboy, there was a teaser trailer of Minecraft that dropped today, and we are going to discuss it here in a minute. We just want to finish the bullet points first, so we're going to do that in a minute. Emerald Stewart said, "What even is Concord?" I would say, maybe get on YouTube and research it, but like probably not worth putting a lot of time into. Ben said, "Yes, Spaceboy." Danny assures us that we are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it. Kempachi said, yeah, they keep mentioning the Minecraft trailer and then not talking about it. I want to assure everyone in the chat, we will be discussing the Minecraft trailer in a minute. We're going to finish the bullet points first. Landon, what's your next?
That's everything from me.
That was everything for bullet points. Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us for bullet points.
Wait, Danny.
What?
When are we going to talk about the Minecraft trailer?
We will be talking about the Minecraft trailer in a minute, as soon as we wrap up bullet points. But anyway, Landon, go ahead and fire that away. So now it's time to talk about the one piece of news that everybody is very interested in. Rings of Power Season 2 dropped the first 3 episodes this last week, and boy, is it good. I mean, are you guys fans of Rings of Power?
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Rings of Power. So famously, Amazon spent like $1 billion getting the rights to make a Lord of the Rings television show, but they couldn't afford to also get the rights to the Lord of the Rings characters. So they are making a series based around what they can use that is like public property. What's the word I'm looking for?
Domain.
Public domain. Thank you. That is the public domain characters, but they can't use all of the characters. So we're getting Galadriel and Elrond and Gil-galad, and they're telling a story about like Sauron and his rise to being the Lord of the Rings, the leader of the evil side of things in Middle Earth. So we got the big twist that wasn't a twist at the end of season 1, that Halbrand is actually Sauron. And then at the opening of this season, we get to see how he went from being Sauron, the Dark Lord, to ending up in a human body and becoming Halbrand. And it's been a really interesting way to tell the story. Billy Rhodes says, is it actually good? Is it actually good? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic. I am not being sarcastic. I enjoy it so much. The crazy thing about Rings of Power is that it premiered up against Wheel of Time, which is another fantasy series that I love and adore. I have the books right over here behind me, but Wheel of Time was shit, like so poorly done. Like and also an Amazon Prime series. And so it was like we got Wheel of Time and we got Rings of Power at the same time. Now, Wheel of Time had the actual rights to Wheel of Time and could tell the actual story and failed to do so. Whereas Rings of Power doesn't have the actual rights and cannot use the movie stuff, but is telling a really great J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings story with what they're allowed to use. And it is so good. Billy says, I will go ahead and believe, but honestly, I still can't tell. I understand that. My level of like earnestness to sarcastic tone of my voice is like they're the same thing. It's very hard to even know myself whenever I'm being serious and that I actually love something, which I feel really bad for my wife, Katrina, because she struggles constantly. She actually wrote on our whiteboard, is this real? And I was like, yes. And then she wrote like question mark next to it to like, because she still doesn't believe me. But anyway, so Rings of Power is an exceptionally good series. The acting is great. The characters are great. They're doing a great job playing within the world of Middle Earth. Highly recommend, highly enjoy. They just got to where the actual rings are being used. Kenbachi said, I really like season 1, The Rings of Power. Season 2 is a bit slow, and I am not enjoying a few of the actors. I think that, and I don't want to speak to what you do and do not like, but I think that what we're seeing is that these characters are starting to be duped in believing what's going on with Sauron, and it's a little unbelievable whenever you already know where Sauron is heading, but these people don't know that, and they're having to act that way. So you're kind of like, why are you doing that? You're stupid. But honestly, that's literally how Sauron tricked everyone in Middle Earth into giving him the power of the rings and letting him take control and become the Dark Lord that he was. But anyway, so that is Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power season 2. Check it out if you get a chance. It's on Amazon Prime. Very good show. Really enjoying it. And there's a lot of like expanded Lord of the Rings lore that you can kind of play around in. And nobody's really dipped into using it. And I think that's where Rings of Power is kind of excelling, is that there's just so much mystery in like what happened in these characters and what like was really going on with them, as opposed to the history book version of it that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote in the like 70s. So anyway, check it out if you get a chance. It's on Amazon Prime. But then finally, Kaos dropped on Netflix in a couple of weeks ago, I think, or last week. It is a series that tells the story of Orpheus and Hades and Eurydice, but it tells them in like a modern perspective of like modern California, and that's like what Mount Olympus is. And Zeus is played by Jeff Goldblum. I watched the first episode. That's all we're talking about today. It sets up a great story. I'm very interested in where it is going. Have you had a chance to check this out at all yet?
I have not, but if Spaceboy is still listening, then they will be very interested in this. They love retelling of Orpheus and Eurydice.
Yeah, I know it kind of falls in line with the musical of Hadestown.
Mm-hmm.
That story of Orpheus and Eurydice. But in this, Orpheus and Eurydice are married, and well, I mean, I know that's also the story originally. They're married, but Orpheus is a rock star and Eurydice is an artist and painter, and she has put her career on hold while Orpheus chases his dreams of being a rock star. And then she wants to leave him. She wants to break up with him. She wants to end the marriage. And then something awful happens to her. And before she gets to tell him, she ends up dying and going to Hades. And that is where the first episode kind of ends. So it leaves you on a cliffhanger. But anything with Jeff Goldblum, literally anything with Jeff Goldblum, you got me. Like, you can have my money. Take it. I love him so much.
Yeah.
And he plays this like vain, like older, wealthy gentleman version of Zeus that is very much exactly who Zeus is in the stories, but like for a modern story. Spaceboy said, "Wait, what show is this? Because I was doing homework. It is Chaos, and it is on Netflix. It is Kaos, and if you get a chance, check it out. Katrina made me aware of it, and I was checking it out today. Very good. Really enjoying the show so far. Excited to see what they do with it and where they're going. And then I guess finally we can get to talking about the Minecraft teaser trailer that dropped today. So here is the official first movie poster for the Minecraft movie that is coming out. Apparently, the story, from what you can tell in the teaser, is very similar to the Jumanji movies. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that they are kind of unabashedly ripping off the idea of the Jumanji movies. So it's like 5 humans from our world get pulled into the Minecraft video game where they're going to do some building. They're gonna meet some sheep and some llamas and some like ghasts, which are those like big crazy pig people. They all show up in the trailer, and then also we get Jack Black in the trailer playing Steve from Minecraft. If you're not familiar with Steve, he's the blue shirt, or is it green? Yeah, it's blue shirt, right?
Yes.
Blue shirt, dark blue jeans,
brown pants, I think.
Blue shirt, brown pants character from the Minecraft games that you play as in the standard game. And he has been played in all of the Jack Blackley glory. He still has the big beard and the giant hair. And the other big thing, and we've known this for a while, but Jason Momoa is in the movie, and he's playing a wrestler named the Garbage Man. He's wearing a frilly pink leather jacket and like has bangs, like blonde bangs. It's a weird look for him. And I'm just like so confused as to what the hell they're going to do with this story.
It looks terrible.
It doesn't look good, but I think that like inherently means it's going to be kind of fun to watch, right? Because it looks like shit.
I don't know, man. There's like a limit.
Yeah.
And I think this is really pushing that limit.
Ken Murphy, father of Cape Con, is in the chat. He said, check out that Wolverine mask. Which one, Ken? How did I get my arms in the wrong position? Which one? I got 2 of them. Ken Pashi says, it is not a movie for us. And Billy Rhodes said, kill the Ender Dragon, I would imagine. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the end goal of the movie. And Ken Pashi's right. This movie is clearly not aimed at the regular, like, action movie film fans that go out to see like the Marvel films and stuff like that. This is very much aimed at children. Ken said blue and yellow, both are great. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I get lost in checking out my shelf. But anyway, so that's kind of all I had to say about the Minecraft movie. Landon, did you have anything else?
I mean, beyond what I just said, not really.
No.
Like, I'm pretty sure Jack Black is still going to give his all for this movie. And while that was great for like the Mario movie and everything, I don't know how it's going to translate to being Steve from Minecraft.
Yeah, I think the choice to have him play a living Steve in a world where everything else is actually Minecraft, like CGI characters, is a weird choice. Like he could have voiced Steve, but having him physically be Steve, I think, is a weird choice.
Yeah, it was a choice. I'll give it them that much.
So Landon doesn't think it's going to be good. I think I might enjoy watching it. Ben says, hopefully Dark Steve is the bad guy. You know, the one version that Haunted, where if you see Dark Steve, he kills you in real life or whatever. Creepy. And then he also said, Kenpachi and I will be taking our sons to see it.
Ben, I think you mean Hero Brian, the Notch's dead brother that never existed, that haunts every version of Minecraft.
Wasn't aware that was a thing.
That's some old creepypasta for you.
Okay, cool. I never really got into creepypasta. Should I?
I did when I was 8, if that tells you anything.
So probably not. Probably not for me. Yeah, no. Okay, cool. But anyway, Speaking of Jack Black giving up his movie career to make children's movies, on the hit list this week, we're talking about our 5 favorite sacrifice stories. Landon gave me a thumbs up for that transition. There's an OG creepy pasta baby. I think he's talking about you. And Spaceboy said, I legit was scared of Steve's evil bro as a kid. I had nightmares. Man, it's crazy what'll scare you as a kid. Uh, uh, um, Freddy Krueger scared the shit out of me as a kid. I watched the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie when I was like 5 years old, and I was terrified of it for forever. I was scared Freddy was gonna kill me while I was laying in bed. I was scared he was gonna grab me when I got out of bed. I didn't like the lights being off. I didn't like walking upstairs in the dark. All the normal things that creep people out. And then I rewatched it when I was a teenager, and I was like, this is the silliest shit I've ever seen in my life. The makeup is terrible. The CGI is terrible. At one point, he's carrying 2 broomsticks with hands on the end of it. Like, it's really dumb, and I don't know why it ever scared me.
Well, to be fair, he was a child murderer.
Yeah, like the scariest part of that is that he was a child predator, for sure.
Murderer. He wasn't a predator in the first movies.
The predators kill things. He was the worst kind of child predator in that he caught children and murdered them. I realize you mean sexual predator, but he
Yes.
was an actual child predator, which means he hunted and killed children for fun.
Well, predators don't kill things for fun. They kill things for food.
Right, and it fed his dark soul. I'm just being an asshole at this point.
I think we're getting off track.
Yeah, we're getting off track. But anyway, 5 favorite sacrifice stories, narratives, characters, moments, instances. There's no wrong answers, and even if your answer is wrong, we're just going to roast you mercilessly in the chat, but you'll be fine. You'll live. It's not a big deal, and we'll appreciate you for sacrificing yourself for the sake of comedy. Landon, would you be so kind to give us your number 5?
My number 5 comes from a series that a lot of people here are familiar with. It is The Walking Dead, but specifically Telltale's The Walking Dead. It's Lee. Now, for those of you who don't... Also, by the way, since these are sacrifice stories, let's get a blanket spoiler warning on everything.
Oh, yeah. Spoilers for the whole list for everyone. Please. We need a spoiler thing to put on the screen. We don't have one, but maybe next time.
But for those of you who don't know, Lee Everett is a character who, through all 5 episodes of the first season of Telltale's The Walking Dead, he is caring for this little girl, Clementine. He does everything he can to keep her safe, to make sure she can protect herself near the end. And at the very end of the season, he dies saving her. And it was incredibly powerful. It was emotional. He risks life and, depending on your choices, literal limb for her. For possibly one of the saddest deaths in the early 2010s.
Sounds like this has affected you deeply.
Time heals all wounds, Danny.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Time and violence heals all wounds. Right? That's what the people say.
I thought violence made more wounds.
Well, yeah, but it makes you feel better, and that's the important thing.
Not unless it's violence against you.
Like Freddy Krueger and the way he was killing them kids. But anyway, do we have anything in chat yet? We do not have anything in chat. I understand if it's taking you guys a minute to come up with lists. I also do everything at the last minute. I get it. But yeah, the Telltale games, how many of the Walking Dead ones are there?
I want to say there's 3.
Yeah.
But I only really played the first one because everybody kept telling me that the quality went down for each one.
All I know about Telltale games is the Batman ones where they have the animations where he doesn't actually move and he's just going through the whole game just with his arms out and his legs straight, just beating the shit out of people and solving mysteries and stuff. You ever seen those videos?
I haven't.
Oh, okay. Just me.
All right. We got some number 5s in the chat. Jessica Christian's number 5 is Lee Abbott, A Quiet Place. He saves his children.
Yeah. Again, spoilers. Yes. John. What is his name? John.
I know who you're talking about, but I am not coming up with that.
Yeah,
name
the
right now.
guy that plays that character, who's also the director of the Quiet Place movies. John, the guy from The Office. Krasinski. Jesus Christ. John Krasinski sacrifices himself to save his children in the end of the movie. And if anyone who has kids knows, you will literally do anything for them. So, yeah, incredible. What else we got?
Billy Rhodes, number 5, is the old lady who saved the baby on Snakes on a Plane.
I have never seen Snakes on a Plane. Have you seen Snakes on a Plane?
I haven't seen Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah.
I haven't.
But could you imagine a snake trying to eat a whole human baby?
Yeah, actually.
I can't. That lady saved the snake and the baby. What a hero. What an absolute hero.
Bro, snakes can eat big, big things.
Right, yeah. But like it's about the size of the snake. Like even if they unhinge their jaw, their body's only so big. Like a human baby is big. Like that's got to be like a giant ass snake to be able to consume a human baby.
Yeah, snakes love eating people. It's a real problem. Thank you, Em.
Billy said she got bit, but a snake doing so. She got bit by a snake doing so. Got it. Right. But yes. So I'm assuming the snake was trying to like strike the child. Snakes will size up their owners and eat them. That's a fun snake fact.
Oh yeah, there's lots of like pictures of people being like, "Oh look, my snake's trying to cuddle me," and it's like a 12-foot long anaconda or something.
Right.
And then it's like just a list of comments of people being like, "No, that snake's sizing you up. That snake's trying to see if it can eat you."
Yeah, and Billy says most of the snakes were venomous. And that's an important distinction because if you ever ask somebody, is that snake poisonous? And they're like, no. And then the snake bites you and you die. They're not wrong. The snake was venomous. Yeah. What else we got?
Oh, Ben Stewart's number 5 is Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Mary Poppins, y'all. Yeah, dude. Yondu proves that you don't have to biologically have that kid to be that's dad. He was the best dad Peter Quill could have asked for, and he really showed up whenever it was important. Ben said, yeah, they are like, my snakes love cuddling with me. It hasn't eaten in a week, though, my poor baby. Yeah, it's true. They are cold-blooded, vicious creatures, and they're probably not trying to be your best friend.
Everyone in chat agrees.
Yeah, for sure. What's more dangerous is owning a monkey.
I would not own a monkey. I don't like them.
Those fuckers will rip your face off and eat your body.
Yeah.
And they don't even need a reason. They just feel like it sometimes. Ben said, sounds like my ex-girlfriend. Good one.
That is everything in chat.
All right. My number 5 is from the Dragon Ball Z series, particularly the Saiyan arc, and that is Chaozu. This cute little guy, just a little robot friend. And I don't think he's a robot, actually. This little guy sacrifices himself to save his friends, and it does nothing. Absolutely nothing. Chaozu doesn't even put a dent in Nappa's armor or hurt his body at all. He's totally fine, and Chaozu gets to go to heaven and hang out with King Kai.
Sacrifices in Dragon Ball are never really that big of sacrifices like that.
I can't think of a single one that worked.
Well, not only that, they always get resurrected.
It's true. But I mean, he didn't know that when he did it. Emma says they will rip your face off, especially if you abuse them, like that one case. And Billy said, chimps will rip your genitals off as well. I'd like to see him try.
Don't mess with chimps or apes, people.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
We're closely related, but not that closely related. Although, to be fair, you shouldn't trust people either. They will also kill you. Uh,
They will also rip off your genitals.
they will also rip off your genitals. That's true. Keep yourself safe out there, people.
You only make that mistake 2 or 3 times.
Chastity belts the world around. You'll thank me. But anyway, my number 5 was Chaozu. Landy, what do you got for number 4?
Quick second. All right. My number 4 is also from my childhood. It is Titus from Final Fantasy X. So throughout Final Fantasy X,
Spoiler.
spoilers. You're essentially going around with your party trying to collect these summons called Aeons. And the whole point of getting these summons is to become powerful enough to defeat the big bad named Sin. Nearly 2/3 of the way through the story, you find out that Yuna, one of the protagonists, will also have to sacrifice herself to kill Sin. And Sin only stays dead for about 20 years on top of that. But after this discovery, they find out that Titus, due to reasons of the story, can also kill Sin permanently, but he would be sacrificed instead. And he keeps that secret up until the final battle. Yuna fully gives up trying to defeat Sin, and then Titus just rips the rug out from everyone, being like, oh yeah, I'm going to die instead, but this time it's permanent.
Yeah, isn't that like the big plot twist of Final Fantasy X is that he was dead all along?
No, he was like a dream made up by the people who made the Aeons.
Yeah, okay. Ben says, Titus does what? We never beat the last fight. And he's absolutely right. We played Final Fantasy X all the way till the end of the game, and we made some really poor choices in leveling, and there's no way to fix it, and we cannot win. Cannot win the fight. We tried and tried and tried. It is not possible for us. We'd have to play the whole game over again. So instead, we just never played it again.
I'm genuinely kind of saddened by that. I'm not gonna lie.
It made me sad. I can tell you that. I really wanted to see the rest of the game. But anyway, Jessica Christian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, never mind. I will let you go into those. What do we have in chat?
Ben Stewart's number 4 is Loki becoming the god of stories.
That is the ultimate sacrifice play. He wanted a throne. He wanted power. And at the end of the day, he got it all, but he had to sacrifice everything to get it. And he saved us all. Respect.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, Loki.
Jessica Christian's number 4 is Billy Hargrove sacrifices himself to the Mind Flayer.
Yes. And that was that season 1?
I haven't seen Stranger Things. Don't look at
Stranger
me.
Things?
I watched half the first season and then stopped.
God, it has been so long since I've watched those. Ben says it's almost as sad as our Shadow of the Colossus story. Yeah, I did get Shadow of the Colossus later in digital and have played most of the game, though. Ben says season 2, you dork. Thank you. It's been a minute. I don't remember. But yeah, Billy sacrificing himself to save everybody from the Mind Flayer. He's kind of a scary, creepy dude, and then he turns around and becomes a hero in the end. Way to be Billy. Yes, Emma said season 2, I think. Thank you. Anybody else remember what season it was? I'm more than happy to hear about it. We'll get to that part right after we talk about the Minecraft trailer and the fact that I definitely do have nipples, and I'm not going to say it again. But what else were we talking about? Oh, Shadows of the Colossus. So Ben and I got a copy of Shadows of the Colossus to play it, right?
Yeah. I assumed you got it to display on your shelf.
Right, yes. We might as well have. Because the version of Shadows of the Colossus that we got, Jessica Christian says knockoff Zac Efron. He's also the Red Ranger from the Power Rangers movie, for those of you who don't know that. We got a copy of Shadows of the Colossus for the PS2, I believe. Or PS3. I don't remember which system it was on. PS2, I think. But anyway, it was locked in an over-the-top view. So all you could do is look down on the character and his horse and never change the angle. And it was impossible to find the Colossus that way. You couldn't see them. And then not only could you not see them, you couldn't get onto them to play the missions. Like because you have to the colossi are the levels. You have to climb them and then solve puzzles on their bodies to defeat them.
Yes.
You couldn't see. And there was no way to change it. It was stuck that way. There was no altering the camera angles or anything. Just looking straight down on your head the whole game.
So legit, both Ben and Danny. My first copy of Final Fantasy X had a similar issue where one camera angle, despite being a fixed camera game for most of it, it was just messed up. I don't know if it was a weird rendering thing that happened or what, but I could not see from one angle, and I couldn't figure out how to get past the section just by randomly clicking and pressing.
Yeah. So what'd you do?
I returned it and got a new copy.
We didn't do that. We just kept it. And we tried it a handful of times. And we were like, yeah, this game sucks. We're never playing this again. Emma says, I could do it, but I'm just built different. That's true. She is just built different. Ben said a couple of years later, I watched videos of the game and I was like, dude, what the fuck? This game looks so awesome. I wish I could have played it. What else we got?
Billy Rhodes, number 4. Stan Smith sacrifices himself to the evil hot tub in the evil hot tub episode of American Dad to save Francine. The writers were unsure if the show was going to be renewed after that.
I really have not watched a lot of American Dad. Like, I'm familiar with it. I get the characters and all that kind of stuff, but like, it just didn't hit for me. Like, I haven't enjoyed Family Guy really since it came back the first time, and I never really liked American Dad.
I like American Dad normally I like an episode of American Dad more than an episode of Modern Family Guy.
Yeah.
Also, that episode, if I remember right, CeeLo Green was a narrator for that entire episode.
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny.
Well, I see you driving around town with the girl I love, and I'm like, fuck you. Hoo hoo hoo. Anyway, Ben said, we just kept it in our memories as a great story to tell. We are essentially wit. And that's a Cosmere reference. And if you don't get it, loser. Anyway, what else we got?
I think that
is all of those. So my number 4 is actually Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk, sacrificing himself to save Rick Jones. In the Incredible Hulk's origin, he sees a beatnik out in the wasteland, sitting in his car, playing his harmonica and like chilling out. And he's got to save him before the big gamma bomb goes off. And so he throws Rick into a ditch, which we all know saves you from nuclear reactions. And then himself absorbs the energy and becomes the Incredible Hulk. And had he not done that, we'd have had a terrible series of comics based on Rick Jones becoming the Incredible Hulk. And that would suck.
Yeah. Sorry, I was my brain honestly just blanked for a solid 5 seconds there.
Rick did later become a Hulk-like character named A-Bomb, which was actually Rick becoming Abomination, except he was blue and a good guy.
Oh God, could you imagine him becoming the original character Hulk as A-Bomb?
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. There is a what-if story where Rick Jones becomes the Hulk instead of Bruce Banner, and it's not great. So we have seen it. It's not awesome. But anyway, that's my number 4. Landy, what do you have for number 3?
All right. My number 3. One of my favorite movies whenever I was in my teens. It is Cooper from Interstellar.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Interstellar is a movie about sacrifices, really. Cooper sacrifices being with his family in the beginning of the movie to go up and explore space and try to find something to save them and everyone else on Earth. And then he later, once again, sacrifices what he thinks is his life to save his friend and ends up getting sucked into a black hole that just kind of for plot contrivances ends up being an alien tesseract to help him, once again, find a way to save his family and everyone on Earth.
Yeah. Interstellar is a crazy movie. There's so much that they put into that. Like that water planet they go to where you hear a click randomly in the soundtrack, and every one of those clicks is a year passing on Earth. You familiar with that?
Yeah. I was just trying to remember if it was a year or a day passing on Earth.
It's a year. Every click is a year on Earth.
Okay.
if I remember correctly. Maybe I remembered incorrectly. Maybe it is a day, but I don't believe so. I do believe it's a year. But yeah, it's a great story. It kind of fucks with your mind. It plays with the multiverse theory. It plays with, a lot of scientific edge theories that aren't really confirmed. They're just kind of ideas that people have had. Ben says it is a year.
Yeah. Also, Ben, I haven't seen it since my teens, so I can't say for certain if it's still one of my favorites now. My taste may have changed. I may hate it now for all I know.
And Landon's teens were a long time ago, guys. Like a long time. Like what, 6 years?
5, actually.
5 years? Okay. It's good math. But anyway, yes. And my teens were also a long time ago and almost the exact same number. But anyway, what do we have in chat?
Ben Stewart's number 3 is Bing Bong from Inside Out.
That's the elephant that sacrifices himself to save the feelings, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great character. That was a great sacrifice. It's emotional too. God damn it, Pixar with your emotional cartoon characters.
Yeah. Pixar with your emotional characters in the Emotions movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's on me. That was a dumb thing to say. But yeah, Up, the beginning of Up, fucks me up every time. Anyway, Emma said that's not just an elephant. I'm sorry.
Jessica Christian's number 3 is another Master Padawan failure, Luke Kylo, The Last Jedi.
Yes, so that's a misunderstanding from multiple angles where Luke saw something and Kylo Ren thought he was about to kill his uncle was about to kill him, and Luke was like, can I do this? No, I can't do it. I need to save him. And they never talked about it. So it's a great advertisement for talking about things that happen with the people in your life that they happen with. And maybe you can clear up a simple misunderstanding and not go trying to conquer the entire galaxy and copy your grandpa. But maybe not. I mean, in a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, therapists probably don't exist yet.
Definitely know they didn't exist for Jedi.
Do we not have a number 3 from Billy yet? Billy, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to us? Put your list in, man.
Like it. No.
I mean, I don't want to have to come down on you in front of everybody, but you got one job.
We could just sit in disappointed silence until Billy.
We could sit in disappointed silence until Billy puts his number 3 in the chat. How about that Simpsons reference earlier I made about Poochie when we were talking about the Minecraft trailer coming along? You don't know? You know, not a Simpsons fan? See, and this is what happens. Saturday Night Nerd said, "Whoa, come down on him." Yeah. Sometimes that's the thing. They say try not to alienate your fans or the people in your chat. Whatever. I will come down on you in a heartbeat. But anyway, so waiting on Emma's number 3 is Billy Rose not putting in his number 3. That's a good one.
Whose sacrifice is that, though? His or ours?
Is Billy sacrificing himself in order to teach you all an abject lesson about not having your list done on time? He's a good person like that. I know Billy. He's a great person. He would do that. Emma says it's his sacrifice. Okay. Fantastic. Well, we will go ahead and do my number 3 while we're waiting. Emma said he's getting chat to communicate.
Oh, here he is. The prodigal son, Billy Rhodes, number 3. I guess I'll say Poochie. He sacrificed himself so that Itchy and Scratchy could prevail.
That's true. Poochie, famously voiced by the Homer Simpson, died on his trip back to his home planet. And they never did get to that fireworks factory. What a shame.
It's a shame, especially considering that his people needed him.
Yeah, his people did need him. Yeah, that's why he was headed back, and then he didn't make it. Death to Poochie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, my number 3 is actually Matthew J. Murdoch, who sacrifices himself to save a little old man. And for those of you who aren't familiar, this is a story of how Daredevil gets his powers. He sacrifices his body to save an elderly man from getting hit by a truck, leading to a traffic accident that then causes some chemicals to be spilled into his eyes, which blind him, but then leave him with super senses that gives him the ability to be Daredevil. Little known fact, that same gunk that turned Daredevil into the blind superhero Daredevil also fell into the sewer upon 4 small turtles and their rat father, turning them into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and their master slash father, Splinter. So not only did Matt Murdock sacrifice himself to save that old man, he also sacrificed himself to give us one of the coolest things of all time ever, and that's the TMNT. These guys.
Man. Matt Murdock losing his eyes to make comics, something you kind of need eyes to see. Incredible.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. If only they'd invented some revolutionary way for blind people to read. Landon.
How many comics have you seen in Braille,
A
Danny?
lot, Landon. There's a whole thing. Like they just sell Braille comics. They
Uh-huh.
describe the scene and then they give the words.
Okay. At that point, how is it not just a book?
Comic books are books, Landon. What is wrong with you? Are you just pissing everybody off today?
I guess I am.
Did you wake up this morning and choose violence? And now everybody's Googling Braille comic books. Billy says that means Daredevil, Batman, Naruto, and Vanilla Ice all exist in the same universe. That's true. That is true.
Okay, we all knew Vanilla Ice exists in every universe.
He is the one constant throughout the multiverse. So stop, collaborate, and listen. Anyway, what was that? Oh, Landon, what do you have as a hot, steamy number 2?
All right. My number 2 is John Marston from Red Dead Redemption.
Are all of yours video games?
No, I just had Interstellar on here.
That's true. I apologize.
Yeah.
Landon's right. I'm wrong.
I'm not just the
It's not
video
even a
game guy.
criticism. It was just a question.
But anyway, John Marston. Again, huge spoiler alert for everything we do on these lists. Throughout the game, he is pressured. He is pressured by the U.S. government to go after former members of his bandit group. After going from Texas down to Mexico and then coming back up to the area, he captures the last 3 members or kills the last 3 members. Kind of depends on what choices you make. And then he thinks he's in the clear for a hot minute. He thinks he's able to go back to his farm with his wife, his son, and uncle.
I get the feeling that that's not the truth.
It's not the truth. But for a hot minute, you just play a few missions that are just chores of John Marston doing stuff with his family. You go and get some cattle for your ranch. You go and shoot some varmints with your son. You break a few horses. And then out of nowhere, you get one mission that's just John looking off in the distance with Uncle, getting really scared and quickly moving his family out of the way as a bunch of government agents storm the house. Uncle gets shot. He dies. He gets his wife and son to safety. But John Marston, in order to buy them time, gets shot and killed like a dog at like 30 times by
Shit.
U.S. Marshals.
Oof. And is that the end of Red Dead Redemption?
That is the end of 99% of Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, is that so that's the first one, right?
That's the first one.
Oh, okay. Cool. I have Red Dead Redemption 2. Haven't really played much of it.
I play Red Dead Redemption 2. I played a good portion of it, but it kept crashing on my PC after a while, so I had to stop.
Yeah, that's why the PS5 is the better implement for that. But anyway, moving along. What do we have in chat?
Ben Stewart's number 2 is Hodor.
Yeah, our boy Hodor from Game of Thrones sacrifices himself like in the past and the future to save people. in like the weirdest like story point, like saving, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like his sacrifice is nuts. Like he sacrifices himself and gets damaged so badly that it travels back in the past and changes who he is into the future. Like it's very traumatic. He goes from being like a big guy who's very loving to being so traumatized by the way he dies that he reduces his ability to speak down to one word, which is hold door, which he ends up translated through time becomes Hodor, which then becomes his name. It's so bad. And he gets ripped apart. Like physically and mentally.
Not just emotionally?
On so many levels. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And not just at the time when it happens, but every version of him for like 15 years. It's pretty awful.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah. But that's George R.R. Martin for you.
Jessica Christian's number 2 is Batman and Gordon sacrificing Batman's image when Dent dies just for the greater good of Gotham.
Yeah. He's not the hero that Gotham needs, but he's the hero they deserve. No, he's not the hero Gotham deserves, but he's the hero they need. Said it backwards.
I constantly mix up that saying anyway.
Yeah, it's easy. There's a lot of sayings in that series of movies. They say a lot of stuff.
Well, most movies they do say a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah, but they say a lot. Like I feel like if you were gonna like make a list of movies that say a lot, the Batman Begins franchise for sure says a lot. Billy says, I don't know if Hodor was sacrificing himself in that or was just being sacrificed. That's true. He was not in control of himself when it happened. And then, yeah, I think we got a late entry in the number 2s there.
Oh, yeah. Billy Rhodes, number 2 is Vanilla Ice. He is the one constant and probably anchor for all universes.
Yes, coming out of South Florida, Vanilla Ice did that for us. He, all of those incredible songs that he has written.
I don't want to live in a universe where Vanilla Ice is the anchor.
Yeah, you do. You don't?
I don't.
Why?
I don't want to rely on just Vanilla Ice.
You know what is incredible to me? It's like Ice Ice Baby is like despite like his career not really ever going anywhere, Ice Ice Baby is a song that is going to permeate every generation forever. Like that song is always going to come back around. But I remember in the like late 90s, early 2000s when nu metal was really popular and like Korn and Limp Bizkit and Deftones, Slipknot was just kind of hitting the scene. We're all kind of very popular. Vanilla Ice tried to take advantage of that and he released a nu metal version of Ice Ice Baby that was him like screaming and rapping. And it is awful. Do not recommend. Definitely prefer the original.
And Deontay's number 2 is Pervy Sage Naruto Shippuden.
It's Shippuden, and I'm tired of correcting you. But yes, Jiraiya sacrifices himself to save all of the Leaf Village from pain, and he dies a hero. It's hard. It's hard to watch that scene, and the ending is crushing.
And to think, Pain still ends up destroying the physical Leaf Village.
It's true. It's true. Pain does. But what a great story, dude. What a great story. Billy said, oh, fuck, I forgot about the metal ice. Yeah, exactly. Most people did. It was pretty rough. I feel like we should load it up and play it for everybody, but I won't do that to you because I love you.
Not at all, because we'll get copyright claimed.
Yeah, that too. But not that. You know, we're not trying to lose monetization either, but I'm not doing it because I love you. My number 2 is this little red and blue fella right here, Optimus Prime. In the Transformers movie, and I say the Transformers movie because it's the only one, Prime sacrifices himself to save Hot Rod, who would then eventually go on to be the leader of the Autobots. But Prime sacrifices himself trying to defeat Megatron and save Hot Rod, and that's because he's a hero, and that's what heroes do. And also because they were putting out a new toy line and they were killing off all of Generation 1 and needed to replace them with the Generation 2 toys, hoping they'd sell them to kids. And Prime had to go. But in a move that I've talked about a few times, left the majority of American children who were fans of Transformers scarred, seeing their hero die on screen. The up to and including leading to children locking themselves in their rooms, threatening never to eat again, threatening to kill themselves over the death of Optimus Prime. The creators of Transformers doubled down and brought Prime back as a zombie and then killed him again to teach those damn kids what they get for speaking up. Billy says you can just change the baseline just slightly and you won't get copyright struck, according to Vanilla Ice. That's true. That was the thing he said about stealing the beginning of Under Pressure for Ice Ice Baby.
See, but I know myself, and I know in my heart I will accidentally make Under Pressure again.
It's true. But anyway, Optimus Prime is my number 2. Landon, are you ready to give me your number 1? Landon, you're number 1, please, and thank you for the heavy eye contact.
Now I know I'm really tired because that didn't even wake me up. God damn.
God damn.
Yeah. My number 1 is the Iron Giant.
Ooh.
Everyone who knows this movie knows exactly what I'm talking about. The very end, when an ICBM is coming down to strike a small town, with the little boy Hogarth that has been his best friend throughout the entire movie. He looks at him, he says, "I go, you stay." Flies up to ram into the missile to try to blow it up away from everyone else. And the whole time just saying to himself, Superman.
Yeah, the end.
You know that moment.
Yeah, the ending of Iron Giant really fucks me up. I love it though, and also Vin Diesel. We were talking about him voicing things earlier. That's Vin Diesel that voices the robot. Anyway,
he's good at not very verbal characters. Funny enough.
Yeah, give him one line and tell him to say it a bunch of different ways. Like, I am Groot.
Yeah. But he knocks it out of the park.
He does. Yes, he does a great job. He's a great voice actor. He's a subpar D&D player. He is, and I'll fight him over that. And he does an okay job of making movies about muscle cars and driving fast, and then somehow becoming super soldiers. I don't understand the progression of that world, other than that it's his fever dream. But yeah, what do we have in chat?
Jessica Christian's number 1 is Piccolo shields Gohan in his fight with Nappa. I simply wept.
Yeah, so the villain from the original Dragon Ball series becomes the best dad in all of anime, and sacrifices himself to save Gohan in the Saiyan saga. And yeah, nobody saw that coming because he literally murders Goku at the beginning of the Saiyan saga because he could. And then ends up stealing Gohan and then ends up like becoming his dad. Crazy story.
Mm-hmm. Ben Stewart's number 1 is Itachi Uchiha.
Absolutely. Itachi, that story really messes me up, and it has become an analog for Ben and I's relationship because I would literally give up anything to keep Ben safe. Yeah, Itachi, sacrifices his entire family, his reputation, his childhood, his future, all to keep Sasuke safe. And he did it willingly. Like he was like, yeah, whatever I got to do. Yeah.
Just like, oh, gotta kill everyone else in my family. Done.
Well, his family was like, we know you have to do this and it's okay. And he was like, I'm so sorry. Anyway, what else we got?
Deontay's number one is Tony Stark, Avengers Endgame, because low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, Tony Stark is it's true. Yeah, that is low hanging fruit. It's probably one of the most recent like on screen incredible sacrifices, but also like I cried. I cried when I watched that in the theater, and it was crushing. And yeah, it was 10 years of incredible Marvel movies wrapped up with him using the same line that started it, and it was beautiful. It was kismet. It was like no other property in existence, and as a matter of fact, no other movie franchise, no other single movie has been able to set up a story like the way that Tony Stark died at the end of Endgame ever. And I don't think they get enough props for it because that took an insane amount of heavy lifting and planning to get to that point. And I just don't think that it gets enough respect.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know it got a lot during its time, though.
I think it got a good amount from fans, but I don't think it gets enough respect from the broader, more serious aspects of Hollywood for what went into making that happen. I just don't think it gets the respect that it deserves for them being able to pull that moment off. I mean, you've got legendary filmmakers saying that Marvel cinematic movies aren't cinema, but like no one else has been able to pull something off at that scope or that scale with that level of commitment over 10 years with like 15 different movies. Like no one has been able to pull something like that off, and nobody saw it coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I just don't think it gets the respect it deserves. It was an incredible undertaking, and yeah, I think it deserves all the props.
Space Boys number one is Wally. Yes, he was restored in the end, but that shit was scary and I almost cried.
Yeah, Wally is nuts. That movie's nuts. It's about two robots, and you shouldn't give a shit about them, but you do.
It's a cute robot love story.
Yeah, exactly. Which is crazy because Pixar has another robot on like last creature on the Earth movie about to come out too.
I thought that was DreamWorks.
Is it DreamWorks? Never mind, it's DreamWorks. Take it back. Are they not the same thing? That was a joke.
Okay.
He immediately got angry. You should have seen the hate in his eyes when I said that.
No, it's tiredness. I've been doing homework all week.
Okay, fine. You're tapped out. What else we got in chat?
Kenpachi Zaraki's number one is Deadpool in that scene with Thor. Spoilers.
I mean, why is Thor crying? I think that's the question we're all asking. And I don't know that we'll ever find out because that's not intended to be something included in the Avengers movies. But it is set up if they want to use it. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
That is everything in chat. My number one is Ryan Reynolds. He sacrificed his career. He risked having being sued and in litigation for the rest of his life. He risked being in some very serious trouble by leaking the test footage for Deadpool onto the internet so that he could hype the movie that he wanted to make. And we're all the better for it. That could have gone very, very badly for him. Like he didn't know it was going to turn into what it did when he did it. That was a ballsy move.
What is the difference between a gamble and a sacrifice in this situation? Because that seems more like a gamble than a sacrifice.
He was sacrificing his future in doing that. That was proprietary product that belonged to Fox that he could not legally distribute and still will not own up to it because of that auspice. And that could have gone, like, he could have ended up with prison time. Like, he sacrificed a lot. But he
didn't go to prison. He didn't lose his career.
Okay, so it is a gamble. You're right. You're right, Landon. Fuck me. It's a gamble. It's not a sacrifice. He gained something out of it as opposed to losing something. Will, what is up? You are not too late. We are at the end of our 5 favorite sacrifices. Feel free to throw a number 1 in the chat or throw your whole damn list at once. That's fine with us. But yeah, it's 5 favorite sacrifices. And either way, glad you're here, buddy. Rip Danny got outsmarted by Landon. I'm not shocked by that. Landon is a clever young man. He's not just attractive; he's also brainy. And F in the chat for my I don't know what the word I'm looking for. My street cred. F in the chat for my street cred. And we will get around to talking about the Minecraft trailer eventually.
Who's the guy who voices Rocket again?
I believe it was Bradley Cooper, if I remember from the chat. Yeah, any genre, any sacrifice, just throw the whole damn list at us. I think I want to do. I like this idea of sacrifices, i.e., gambles, as our 5 favorites. But I want to do something a little different next week. I want to do. I can't think of a better way to put it, but like bad sacrifices, where somebody like sacrificed, like an evil character sacrificed the good character out of nowhere.
Oh, I thought you're going a different way of it. Of like, yeah, this person sacrificed something and it meant nothing.
No, I'm thinking about like stories where the hero gets turned on unexpectedly and is sacrificed, and you just like did not see it coming. Or like Game of Thrones, where Ned Stark gets beheaded, and you think all the way up to the moment it happens, you're like, oh, he's definitely going to get out of this. He's the main character. And then they kill him. You know what I mean? Like a
betrayal sort of thing?
Yes. Top 5 betrayals. Let's do that.
All right.
Our 5 favorite betrayals next week. Spaceboy said, yes, correct, Danny. He is smart and attractive. It's true. That is absolutely true about Landon. The reason Landon isn't on camera when we do these shows is because you can't handle it. But yeah, Emma, Bradley Cooper is the voice of Rocket Raccoon. So anyway, next week, top 5 betrayals.
Wait, we got Billy Rhodes. It was a bit of a last minute one.
Oh, get it.
Billy Rhodes, number 1 is the autopilot thing from Wall-E. That thing gave up its entire life to take care of humanity. And then the humans just fucked back off to garbage Earth, not giving a fuck.
I mean, yes-ish. I guess they're ungrateful. They weren't taken, didn't appreciate the millennias of taking care of the human race that computer did, and they became entirely subservient to it. So I guess from the computer AI's perspective, they were being ungrateful, but for the entire human race, that computer was kind of a fuck. Landon, you want to read that comment for me?
Oh, sure. That mother fur is a butt.
Yes. Now it makes so much more sense.
Oh no! I can spell. Leave me alone.
I account spell?
No, don't, Ria. Read.
What is happening? Oh my God! Spaceboy's having a stroke.
If you are number 1 counts as a sacrifice, then mine counts too.
Got Billy too. No, I didn't say yours didn't count. I was just saying, like, from the right perspective, yeah, it totally counts. But yeah, absolutely. Next week, 5 favorite betrayals. If you're still working on your list, Will, don't hesitate to throw it in there, but we're gonna move along. This has been the hit list. That was good television. I don't care what anybody says. That was learning too much about depressing things. I don't want to be this guy, but that's the wrong 2. Anyway, and yes, learning English can be depressing. But anyway, so for next week, top 5 betrayals. We will get around to talking about the Minecraft trailer after we wrap up the show. Emma feels bad for you, Spaceboy. I just, you're great. I just saw the last comment there. But yeah, this show has been incredible. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you for being in the chat. I appreciate you. I didn't mention the Dunning-Kruger effect a single time the whole podcast, so I felt it was important to bring it up here at the end. And if you're not familiar with that, look it up because I literally see it everywhere. Guys, a master's program is hard. Be nice. I don't want to hear about that hard guy who's in the master's program. Emma yelled at me for the talking about the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's not a real thing. It absolutely is a real thing. Look it up. Definitely check it out. Spaceboy said, wait, what about the Minecraft movie? Stay around after the show ends, and we will be talking about the Minecraft movie trailer after we're off the air.
We'll be discussing it in Cutting Edge Hero After Dark.
Yeah. When all the sexy discussions happen. That's TV. What's the TVX? Deontay said, I just learned it like 2 years ago and have been using it ever since. LOL. Yeah, dude. I see it everywhere now. Go ahead, Landon.
Oh. Will's number one is Lelouch v. Britannia. I think I said that right. He took on the role of being the villain so that he can take on the world's hatred by himself and bring the world together for peace. He started of doing it for his sister, but realized the whole world needed saving. So he took it upon himself, and by the end, his friends and family were the only ones to know that he was doing it at the last minute.
Yeah, that sounds like a hero for sure. Billy, I haven't watched that series, but yeah, that's a big sacrifice move to save the world. Like and people who are willing to do that are absolutely heroes. It's incredible. Code Geese, yes. Billy Rhodes said TVX allows for insertion. That's true. And that's what Cutting Edge Hero After Dark is all about, inserting information into your brain. And Emma said, for real, like it's not just him lying to me. And Deontay said, Emma, I swear, no cap. It is no cap at all. For real, dead ass, fam. Yeah, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a real thing. It's right up there with the negative news effect, which if you're not familiar with that, you should research. And that is the idea that no matter what side you fall on and no matter what your belief system is, the news is always against you. And that is a real psychological trend that they discovered like in the 80s. And I wouldn't say that it's necessarily 100% true today, but it is probably like 75% true today for the news. But yeah, absolutely. And Will, thank you for dropping your number one in the chat. We appreciate it, man. That's that was a great one. But anyway, for all of Cutting Edge Hero, I just want to say I appreciate and love each and every one of you. Thank you for being in the chat. You guys are awesome. You're making my dreams come true. I love you guys. Landon, you want to say anything nice to the people?
Like always, thank you for coming out. Thank you for chatting. I'm much more eloquent and verbose than this, but I am very tired from a day of doing homework, so I'm not that great right now.
The man uses eloquent and verbose in one sentence as an apology for not being more eloquent and verbose, which is insane. But anyway, for all of us here at Cutting Edge Hero, we love you guys. We'll catch you later. Have a great night.
See y'all.